So Richie Valens, La Bamba, preceded by Elvis with Little Sister. Had a nice conversation about Elvis before he went to Hollywood and Vegas. And before that, started off the set with my favorite doo-wop song, and we were all singing it together, so I guess the guys like it as well, and that's the Diamonds' Little Darlin'. So, without further ado, when I was talking to Dan via email in the preceding week before the show, trying to get things together, he told me, I have a great story about La Bamba, so I'm putting him on the spot, okay? I have a great story about La Bamba and how it and the impact it had on his life, so Dan, it better be good.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, I don't know. So we grew up. My father was a big like doo-wop guy. He was always, and he's recently passed and whatnot. But growing up, but whenever we were around him, it was always doo-wop, and it was always Elvis. Like that was his stuff, right? So he decides one day, like La Bamba comes out, and he's like, "Hey, we're gonna go check this out. This is like the real music. I'm gonna like show you guys, and you're gonna see the story and everything like that."
Great movie.
Oh, it's a great movie, right? And I had kind of said before that I picked up the guitar earlier in my life, and I did, and it was after seeing La Bamba, and it was only for about 30 seconds because whatever. But anyway, so we go to see this movie, right? And at the end of the movie, the scene after, I don't want to spoiler alert.
No, I think
yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't. I mean, does anyone?
Dan, I don't want to scare you here. They die at the end of Titanic.
Yeah, okay. All right. I don't want to ruin the movie for anybody, and the thing that happens.
If you haven't seen La Bamba yet, we're going to spoil this for you. All right? Otherwise, turn down the volume. Dan is going to tell you what happens. You ever heard about the day the music died? Maybe Dan thinks that a lot of people haven't heard about that.
Yeah, I didn't know. I figured, so
Dan, it's a good thing you're talented and charming, Dan. I really.
So
all right, go ahead, tell us.
So we go check out the movie and everything like that, and after the scene where the plane crashes and everything, the screen kind of goes dark, and it goes to the scene where in the middle of the movie Richie was playing La Bamba, and there was something about the tone of the guitar that didn't hit me in the middle of the movie, but it hit me in that part of the movie, and I'm thinking, I want to play guitar, man. Like, this thing was just all about it, right? But I was a kid. I was very young, right? So to me, Richie Valens was Lou Diamond Phillips. Right, so that's who I thought. Like, yeah, this is him, right? Okay. So now I get my dad, and I'm like, hey man, I need a guitar, number one, that looks like that, which was, I ended up getting some shanty little, I don't even know what it was, but I need to know everything I need about Richie Valens, right? So he comes home one day and he has this I guess it was an album of Richie. And I'm looking at the album cover. I'm like, well, who is that? And he's like, what do you mean? This is Richie Valens. I'm like, no, it's not. That's just, so then he puts it on and he starts playing it. And I'm like, well, that's not him either. I was like, well, what is this? Right. So it turns out that as a confused kid, I actually wanted to be Lou Diamond Phillips, sounding like Los Lobos, who I found out later did the soundtrack for the movie.
This is a good story.
I was just a very confused kid. But then what ended up happening was, as I did start to listen to Richie and like realize how young he was, how talented he was, and the courage it takes at that age to kind of step out and play music that people hadn't heard before. And to say to somebody else, like, listen, I don't care if this is the trademark, this is how it's done. He's like, I'm going to do it my way. I'm going to do this. This is how I want to do my music. At that age, to have that kind of composure and confidence in yourself. I did to end up taking a lot away from Richie Valens as well, even though I was.
How old were you when you saw the movie?
I was probably like 10 or something like that. I mean, I should have been.
That makes a sweet story. It's a really cute story.
So it was like that.
And then it did shape you, turn you in, set you on your first steps towards becoming a guitar player, musician. I mean, it was early on. But it's really cute. You would not have known because obviously Richie Valens was long gone before you were born.
Yeah.
And the fact that your dad took you to the movie because he wanted to share his music with you, and this fact that now your dad, who has left us, I'm sorry to say, but his legacy now lives on the fact that you play the guitar because you saw Richie Valens in the shape of Lou Diamond Phillips on the screen, and your dad is the one who brought you to see the movie. So that's a great story.
Yeah,
it really is a great story.
And it was hilarious because I got a guitar that was just this beater little guitar, right? And I took it and I went to one guitar lesson, and I was like I said 10 years old, something like that, and I go to one guitar lesson, and everything the guy did, he's trying to show me like these scales, and this is literally guitar lesson number 1. He's trying to show me these scales, and I'm like, is this a song? And he's like, no, these are scales. I'm like, well, I want to learn a song. And he was, I hear him and my dad in the hallway, and he's like, this kid just doesn't get it. He doesn't get it, right? So I took one guitar lesson when I was 10, and then that was like literally, I drove them crazy for about a week with the guitar in my house, and then that was it. I put it down until later on seeing Stevie Ray again in that whole.